Gamb.
Dear.
Gamb.
Dear.
We watched a movie.
We did, didn't we?
We watched a heck of a movie called Black Sheep, made in 2006. A comedy horror sci-fi?
I would call... Oh.
That's what it's rated
I
as.
would call that a black comedy, emphasis on comedy.
Okay. It got about a 5.8 out of 10 for the most part, across the board.
You know what? I completely understand that.
But the question is how did you like it?
I mean, I thought it was pretty okay for the most part. I mean, there were bits that were really good.
So what happened in it?
The problem... Oh, you want to know what happened in it?
I want to know what happened in it.
Okay. Okay. So, Black Sheep, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You might wonder what the Black Sheep is.
I mean, that is the title of the movie.
It is. So we open up the movie to some lovely sheepy weepies with a man riding around on a ATV who knows how to use a goddamn whistle, with some kids who also know how to use some goddamn whistles. We learn this is how sheep get herded. Wow, they're driving around. They got dogs. Dogs do the herding. Good at that. We're learning. Okay, we got some sheep farmers. We got a dog. We got some sheep. Like in this setup. Cut to the older brother who doesn't like the sheep. He doesn't like the sheep. Very clearly doesn't like the sheep. We cut to him with some ominous music. Ooh, he very clearly doesn't like. Something's wrong with him. We cut to later. He goes to one of the sheep. He's got an axe in his hand, dear.
Oh no.
Oh no. He's spooky.
Oh.
He's very evil. He acts very evil.
Oh.
Comedically evil. It's actually kind of unintentionally funny. And he kills the sheep. Oh no.
Oh no.
Why'd he kill the sheep?
Why, Gamb?
So the one of the other brothers comes back to the barn and there's ominous music, and the kid hears the ominous music and goes, "Oh, I should be scared now," and goes looking for Dudley, whoever Dudley is. Could be the dog, could be a sheep, could be the name of the brother. We don't know. It hasn't been established, and before you say anything, no, it hasn't been established. So he's looking around, wondering where Dudley is. Where's Dudley? Where's Dudley? He goes into the barn. The ominous music grows and grows, and suddenly a giant sheep monster comes out and fucking scares the living daylights out of him. Oh no! Oh no! Sheep. One might say that this is a black sheep.
Oh, is this the black sheep?
It's evil. Is this the titular black sheep?
Is it?
No, it's just his brother with the dead sheep's head on him.
Oh.
He just wanted to, traumatize his brother.
Yeah, of course, like all siblings do.
Yeah, boys will be boys.
Traumatizing each other.
His brother. Yeah, so then we have a lovely woman come in and say, "Oi, knock that shit off. No traumatizing today. It's not Tuesday." And then suddenly we get a lovely transition from that to a man in a taxi surrounded by sheep, and he is fucking terrified.
So why on that Tuesday was there no traumatizing to be had? Because there was something else that happened.
Oh yeah, your father. Something happened to your father. Something happened to your father. No traumatizing right now because something's happened to your father. That's something. We don't know. It could be he fucked one of the sheep again. It could be he fell off a cliff. I don't know. It could be anything. So yeah, we get this lovely transition to a man in a taxi, absolutely shit scared of sheep, and this is a great little bit of storytelling because you instantly know, okay, that was a skip in time, and that's the little brother because he's terrified of sheep. And it's a brand new scene with new characters, so you latch onto what you know. And then, oh, what a surprise, it says 15 years later. I don't think it really needed to say 15 years later. They kind of could have incorporated it in the writing, but oh well. There's a lot of little bits of that in this movie. So yeah, we cut to this guy. He's shit scared in this taxi. And the taxi driver does not understand one bit. And so he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta call my therapist then. My therapist will help me out." And The therapist doesn't help him out. Therapist isn't there. Therapist doesn't want to speak to him because his therapist is in an appointment. But it's okay. It's okay. The sheep go away. He's fine. Everything's fine. We learn he's going off somewhere. We don't know where. Could be coming back to the farm. Could be, I don't know, driving off a cliff. We don't know. We don't know. Because we then cut to two people who, looking at their wardrobe, you know instantly that they are hippies. And they are environmentalists. They're the psychotic people. I do believe
we also zoomed in on their car and it had a "Meat is Murder" bumper sticker, so...
Yeah, it also... I forgot about that because it was so dumb. The kind of pre-2010 environmentalist character. Mainly they propped up in the 90s, but then again, the New Zealand film industry does lag behind with the rest of the world. That's not my joke. The Flight of the Conchords made that joke first. But, so we know instantly that they're the hippie environmentalists who... so silly of them for wanting to save the world. They sneak onto whatever this farm is, and they say there's a building, and there's some sort of lab, and people loading stuff on, and they're trying to figure out what they want to do, and so while they're discussing what to do, one of these hippies just runs up and steals a jar from the scientists, and the scientists don't see him until the plot says that they see him.
Because peripheral vision doesn't exist.
Peripheral vision does not exist in this movie. It is worse than Doctor Who.
It is.
Because they are literally facing him and they don't see him. Whereas in Doctor Who, they're at least out of direct eye line for most of it. So he steals a jar, they see him at the last minute, he goes running, and then he takes it back, and it's like, oh, what's in this jar? It's some fucked up sheep homunculus. It's like the jar from the jar. It's a fucked up little sheep gremlin in there. It's very clearly covered in fluid, so it must be dead. Some type of specimen. Who knows? The scientists are chasing after them. They gotta figure out what to do. There's a little bit of banter there of like, haha, I love you. Wait, I actually don't love you. Can we talk about our relationship right now?
Yes.
A little bit stilted and goes nowhere. But whatever. And he's running with the jar, and oh no, he slips, dear. He trips.
Oh no.
He trips, and the jar goes flying.
Oh no, what happens to the jar?
Flying, and it hits a tree, and it shatters, and we go, oh no, that poor little sheep homunculus.
Oh no.
Oh no. So, as we're doing this, it's like, oh, never would have seen that coming.
Never.
But the scientists don't find him. So he's laying there, realizes the jar's broken, and we see a little sheep homunculus crawl up on his back. Little sheepy boy. And as he realizes what's on there, nom!
No.
Goes straight for the ear, stretches his ear out, and we get some introduction to the type of special effects we're getting in this movie, which are very rubber intensive.
Yes.
Very, very rubber intensive. But I kind of liked it. I mean, I think they went a little bit overboard with the sound design of it.
Yeah, the sound design in this movie is like rubber snapping, obvious like mixing of macaroni. It's a very
here's
overboard
the thing,
sound.
I like it, but it feels like they go overboard. It's not like, oh, okay, we're hearing a rubber band stretch or like a piece of rubber stretch. It's like we're hearing like 4 different pieces of rubber going off at once, and it's like, you can tone it down a bit.
Yeah.
I know you're trying to overload the senses to like really give a sense of urgency and make the audience tense, but like you don't need to do that. Anyway, he starts. We get a lovely little comedy bit where he starts slamming it against the tree, trying to get it off his ear. Smacks himself in the head with a stick. It's lovely Three Stooges stuff. They would love this shit. Until finally it comes off, and he throws it away, and it crawls away, and he's just there screaming, "Fucking." What just happened? What happened? I'm feeling weird.
Yeah.
We cut away, back to the taxi man. Back to Taximan. And we see, oh shit, he's driven a long way, because that taxi is at $431, dear.
Oh shit.
That's a long taxi ride.
How is he going to pay for that?
Who fucking knows? But he's keeping the meter running while he's just popping inside to say hello to some people.
Yeah.
So our hero, our protagonist, our man that we are following, the man with the panic attacks, goes into the house, and we find the council of sheep mounted on the wall. 3 sheep, their heads looking down upon us.
Ooh.
He sees them and ignores them completely, and they don't come back at all in the story. He then goes to the kitchen, and then we find Mrs. Mac, because he's looking at the kitchen, looking what's going on, and suddenly she puts a shotgun to the back of his head, and it's the old lady from the beginning.
Oh.
Whoa, time really has passed. And she, this is where we learn she's Mrs. Mac. She's the one who makes all the pies and the sausage rolls. She's good at her job.
Yeah.
And so she goes, "Who are you? What are you fucking doing here?" And he goes, "It's me, the one who's terrified of sheep." And she goes, "Oh, it's you pussy. Welcome. And your brother's out having a speech or something. Why are you back here?" And we learn a little bit of plot of ways here. It doesn't matter.
It does a little bit.
Okay, it only matters in the setup, but we don't really care about it. He's here to bury the hatchet, essentially. So we cut to another older man who is having a speech to no one. He's very clearly practicing a speech, a very important speech. And we go up to, and our main dude comes up to him and goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And this guy's angry. He's very angry. He's a very angry boy.
Yeah.
He's not happy that our man is here. And he goes, "What are you doing here? What do you think you're doing?" Argument ensues. They argue over, "You shouldn't have come," versus, "But it's my family farm. Like, this is where I grew up. This is where my father was. This is where my mum was. Like, I deserve to be here too." And go through what's going on. And I'll be honest, I did not really give a shit about that conversation about, like, selling the farm or some shit.
Fine.
It just, it doesn't matter, and I didn't care one bit. So,
I mean, it really just boils down to, like, the 2 brothers own the farm, the dad had an accident, so they both own the farm, and one wants to buy the farm from the other.
Yeah. So, and then he goes, "Okay, well, here, take a check and get the fuck out of here." And it's for $2 million dudes.
Oh, is that how he's going to pay for his fare?
That would pay for his fare. Okay. Although I don't think the taxi takes a check.
Oh.
So, oops.
Whoopsie.
So we cut back now to vegan environmentalist man who got bitten by Jeremy the tiny sheep. And he's looking a little bit fucked up, dear. He's looking a little bit fucked up.
Why is he looking
fucked
up?
He sees because he got bitten by Jeremy, obviously.
Oh, right, that's true.
So he looks down and he sees a lovely little bunny rabbit. A lovely little bunny. He picks it up and he goes, "I'll protect you from the world, little bunny. I'll protect you from the..." And he starts eating the bunny. And, well, he doesn't start eating the bunny. He puts his teeth on the rubber band that's on the bunny and pulls back. Because that's how everyone eats in this movie.
Well, it's like a very nonchalant switch between, like, where the rabbit is and then having a fake rabbit. It's not terrible.
Yeah. So then we get a little bit more of information as well about the scientist lady doing the scientist stuff. It's like, oh, her name's Astrid, I think, and she's something. She did something with leeches. She's not very reputable. She's an evil lady. Okay, we've got an evil scientist. Cool. And as our man with the $2 million check goes back into the house to talk to Mrs. Mac, she goes, "Oh, I don't know how you feel, but your father loved this farm. Here, have a Chekhov's gun." And hands him an award for the golden shears. Something about being the best one at shearing a sheep. I don't fucking know. It's very clearly a Chekhov's gun. Because it's like...
I don't know why you would say that at all.
Wow. It's so fucking obvious.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's so fucking obvious. And then we learn here's another guy. He's coming. It's Tucker. He's a friend. He's helping run the farm.
Mm-hmm.
He's good friends with our main dude. And so they catch up, see how things are going, and take a ride around the farm. So Jeremy, we cut back to our little friend Jeremy, the tiny sheep, and he's crawling up that hill.
Oh,
he
Jeremy.
wants freedom. He wants family. And another sheep comes up to him and goes, "You alright, little bro?" And Jeremy kind of like looks up a little bit and tries to eat the sheep. The sheep backs off like, "The fuck you on about, cunt?" And Jeremy just sort of like doesn't do anything from there, and the sheep's a little bit scared. And oof, that was a bit tense, wasn't it? Then after that, as Tucker and Henry, that's right, Henry, his name's Henry, as they're driving around, suddenly Jenny the sheep stops them.
Oh.
She's in the middle of the road. She doesn't want them to pass. Tucker's laughing. He's like, "Okay, well, let's get her out. Let's get out of the car, lift her over the fence." And Henry's shit scared of sheep, so he doesn't.
Yeah.
So while he's sitting there, shit scared, and Tucker's picking up the sheep, getting ready to throw it over the edge, suddenly a hand reaches in the car and grabs the rifle that's in the car,
no.
pulls it out, and it's just the vegan lady.
Oh. Fuck.
And she puts the gun up to them, and Tucker humorously goes, "Hands up?" She goes, "Yeah, hands up." And a really weak comedy scene ensues where the safety's on, but she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't know, because she doesn't know how to use a gun, because she's an environmentalist. Environmentalists don't know how to use guns. All they know how to do is eat a salad, and organize sit-ins.
I mean, it was, like, decently amusing to be like, "Hey, like, here, give it to me. I'll turn the safety off for you." Then he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not giving this back to you."
Yeah, kind of. The problem is there's a few ways that scene can go. It goes, "Okay, I'll take the gun, turn the safety on, and then give it back to you," and then they play it straight like that didn't just happen.
She walks away
he
very
takes it back,
cranky, though, which is
or
nice.
he takes it back, turns the safety on, turns it on her, and very casually starts going. Or the way they did it, which was he takes the gun back, turns the safety off, and then starts to hand it back to her and goes, "Huh, you thought we were going to do this, but no, we're not doing that." Which, honestly, to me is not that funny. It's kind of like, "Huh, you thought we were going to do this joke, but we didn't, and therefore we've done this joke." I don't know, it's a personal hang-up. Anyway, we cut back to Grant, the other environmentalist vegan, and he's not doing too well after eating that fucking rabbit. He's really not doing well.
No, I mean, as a
I'm telling
vegan,
you.
like, if once you eat rabbit, you just never go back.
I mean, rabbit is pretty tasty.
It is.
But he is not just, like, looking emotionally distraught. He's looking a little bit, sheepish.
Oh. Oh.
Do you get it, dear? Do you get it?
Going.
I said sheepish because he looks like he's turning into a sheep.
Keep going.
Okay. Anyway, after the whole safety's on thing with the gun, he takes it off her and then she just walks away, which is in itself kind of good, kind of funny. And then we cut to a pot and we get to see some spaghetti splat into it. And oh man, that's a tin of spaghetti. Oh, yum, 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 yum. And the man sits down after putting spaghetti on the pot, and he sits down reading his History of New Zealand book, and he suddenly hears something, and the ominous music starts, and then we hear screaming.
Oh.
And then we learn what the vegan environmentalist girl's name is. And it's Experience.
It's an experience? What's her name?
Can we not?
Her name
we not
is
do that
Experience. Yeah, no.
Her name is Experience, and I hate it. It's such a lazy joke. Because, get it, she's a new age hippie, so her name is something wacky, like Experience.
Oh.
And then they walk. They see some smoke of this house. Well, Tucker sees it somehow, even though it's a small amount of smoke. And it's kind of surrounded by trees, and where they were looking, there were no trees because it was a hill. And they suddenly go to this house, and oh no, there's a mess. There's blood everywhere, spaghetti everywhere, and smoke everywhere.
Oh no!
They walk in, and Experience goes, "Oh no!" And I go, "Don't fucking make a feng shui joke." And she goes, "The feng shui in this place is awful."
Yep.
And it's like, okay, we get it. She's the comic relief.
Yep.
And I don't like her.
It's very hard to like her throughout this movie. To be fair.
Well, it's not that her character, like, I don't mind her character. It's what they make her say that is like, oh, this is so overdone, can we not? Like, there's so many New Age jokes written from her perspective, and it's like, can we not?
Yep.
Not that I'm trying to defend New Age hippies. Fuck off. New Age is not good. Fucking... get out of here with your fucking feng shui and your fucking astrology and your fucking aromatherapy and all this crap. Get out! Anyway. They were looking around the house wondering what the fuck's going on in this house, and there's suddenly at the door a sheep. Bah. Henry gets shit scared and immediately goes into another room because, as we've mentioned, he's terrified of sheep. And everyone else is like, "Oh, what's wrong? What do you think? What's wrong?" And the sheep starts walking towards them. He starts gnashing his teeth together.
Gamb, I'm so scared.
And everyone's like, "What's going on? Well, why are you so scared, Henry? What's going on? It's just a sheep. It's just a sheep, bro. It's just a sheep, bro. Nothing wrong with that sheep, bro." They go into a room because the sheep's following him, and it's slamming its head against the door, and Tucker still is like, "What's wrong, bro? There's nothing wrong with that." And then the sheep bursts its head through the door, and it's very clearly a zombie sheep.
Very clearly.
And so Tucker shoots it. And it goes away. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they can be shot and killed. And then they all start to, like, wonder if it's really gone. And it starts to hold the shot on the door. And they all start to look in the door. And then the sheep pops up again. Yep. So he shoots it again. Thus, reinforcing that with zombies, you got to double tap.
Yep. Always double tap.
As we're looking around the room, suddenly Experience sees a man.
Oh.
The man who was making spaghetti.
The scariest thing in the world, men.
Ripped.
Wow.
His throat has been ripped, dear. It is very clear he has been savaged by a timorous beastie. Known as a sheep. And we start going like, what the fuck's going on? How'd the sheep be like this? And then suddenly they say to Henry, well, your brother's been messing with sheep genes. Like, science is going on, bro.
Yeah.
Sheep, science, nature, order, balance, evil, genetics,
Good.
DNA.
Genetics, science.
All the code words you need. So they suddenly hear bleating. Outside, there's sheep.
Oh no.
Everywhere.
Oh no.
What are they going to do, dear? What are they going to do?
Run for it.
No, that's not smart. You never run with sheep. They start tiptoeing. Tiptoeing over to the truck.
Oh. The sheep or the people?
Tucker's in the truck. And Experience is walking there. And there's a really bad comedy thing about chakras that they bring back constantly because they just thought it was so funny and such a good reoccurring joke.
Yes.
They bring it back like 4 times.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be like he's becoming more like her and she becomes more like him throughout the movie, and they like it's set up for their relationship.
Yeah, and it's such an overdone fucking thing, and I hate it. Anyway, Tucker's in the truck, and he's like, "Can you two fucking hurry up? Like, seriously,
you're Tucker
taking
in this
forever.
situation, yeah.
Any of these sheep could like fucking kill us at any moment." So they get on the back of the truck, and Tucker looks over, and suddenly a sheep is teleported to the passenger side seat, and it's a bad sheep.
Oh no. Not
and
Tucker.
So as he's driving, Tucker's wrestling with the sheep and he's trying to push it, and the other two are on the back of the truck going, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And they go, the chainsaw, we'll grab the chainsaw. And there's a little bit of a comedy scene in that neither of them have used a chainsaw before, so it's hard for them to get a chainsaw started. And then they finally get it started. And what should happen whenever someone who first uses a chainsaw first ups a chainsaw in such a situation? The chainsaw goes fucking flying because they weren't ready for the chainsaw to start.
Yep.
And it's like, well, there goes the chainsaw. And the sheep bites Tucker's foot. And he's going,
no.
Fuck! And so they all bail out of the car, luckily. They're all bailing out of the ute. They're fine. And suddenly they're like, wait, if you jumped out too, Tucker, then who's driving the ute? And we cut back and the sheep moved seats to the driver's seat, desperately trying to drive away from the cliff. And the sheep goes off the cliff.
Oh. Listen,
And I would like
funny.
to note, oh wait, no, that's coming up later. Don't worry, I'll mention that later. Then we get Experience talking to us about greenhouse gases and methane and blah blah blah. She cares about the environment,
and
who
also
cares
the cliff.
Well, yeah. Also, Also, they go up to the cliff, and she goes, "Oh man, that's such a terrible cliff. Oh, no way anyone could survive falling off that. I wouldn't want to fall off it myself. How
Only
do you
a
feel?"
stupid person would fall off that cliff.
Yeah, only a stupid person would fall off that cliff. And Henry goes, "That's where my dad fell off and died." She goes, "Oh, well, he was fucking stupid." No, she doesn't do that. The movie's not that good. She goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cause offense," and blah 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 blah. We cut back to Angus. Angus has finished his little get together with the fake speech, and okay. The way we transition over is pretty funny because he goes, "What are we going to do if all the other sheep are like this?" And then it zooms in on Henry, and Henry goes, "Angus is going to have some unexpected visitors then."
Oh no.
So we cut to Angus, and he's walking back up to the house, all happy, and then he gets grumpy.
Oh.
We get angry Angus because he sees the taxi, meaning Henry's still here. The taxi's at $1,000 right now.
Oh, he could pay for it,
Which is really weird because they set up the joke with $431. They remind you of it again at $1,000, and there's no payoff.
Yeah.
It would have been a great payoff, but they don't.
They don't remind you specifically with the meter. They remind you of the taxi driver, but they should have brought the meter back, I admit.
Well, they do. It's the same shot of the meter, and you see the taxi driver rise up. It's not like the meter is in the background. The meter is in the center of the shot.
Well, no, I'm saying later. The only thing they bring back is the taxi driver, not the meter.
Yeah,
and they should have.
They should have brought the meter back. Anyway, Angus is angry that he's still here, so he's like, "Fucking go and get. We're gonna give him go get." And then I don't know what this is in my notes. I just wrote tea. I can't remember what it is. I remember it's some dumb joke, but I just wrote tea.
Oh.
Do you remember what it is?
I think it was something about how Angus says that, or no, that's earlier on. Crap. I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh well. Well, we go back to the scientists. Remember them. One of them is taking more of those glass tubes to what we like to call the offal pit. Because there's a sign on the front of it that says offal pit. Remember that I said that there is a sign on the front of it that says offal pit. This will become important later.
Hey, Gamb, what's awful? Just for those who don't know.
It's guts. It's
spelled
intestines, guts.
Offal.
Gore.
Yeah.
He's
variety of meats and organs and things, basically.
Yeah. He's gore. So he opens it up and throws some shit down there. Very clearly, they're just getting rid of shit by chucking it down a pit, which is pretty funny. And on his way back, Janine and Justin the sheep standing there. And he kind of humorously starts barking as if like, haha, go away, woof woof, woof woof. Yeah. And then another sheep comes up and bites his ankles.
Oh! I think it was his butt, and then the other two close
in and... What?
I think it was his butt, actually.
Your fucking butt.
Alright.
So they then kill that scientist, and he's never seen again.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
Poor man.
Yeah. And then we cut back to Angus, who's driving around the farm trying to look for his brother, and he runs into Grant, the were-sheep looking fucker.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, there's a funny little joke about, haha, four-wheel drives, and you think you own the roads, and actually I do own the road because it's my farm. And he challenges him to get off the fucking place, and then essentially Grant bites Angus. Angus is fucking confused. Grant is horrified that he's eaten meat again, and he runs away. So Angus is going to be a sheep. This is important.
Yeah.
We then learn that we learn more about the scientists and what's going on. We learn that they're doing some sort of genetic experiments and that they're not following animal guidelines. Mm-hmm. And then Tucker starts crying a little bit because his foot hurts. Because the sheep got him in his foot. I take off his boot, and it's a sheep foot. And it is great.
Oh.
And then I would like to note, the thing I have written in my notes just says, sheep bleat menacingly. Mm-hmm. Because that's what we hear.
That happens pretty often, actually.
That actually does come up in the subtitles. Because the sheep have found them. Oh no, we better run towards the laboratory then. Oh, we'll get safety in there. They go in and there's an opened up sheep with its heart still beating, and it's angry, and it's like, I get what they're going for with like the shock value, but like in universe, what is that meant to be? Like, what is that scientifically, like, it doesn't matter. Mm. Suddenly we see the evil scientist lady, and she's got a needly weedly. She's getting it ready, and Angus is there with a shotgun. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro! I gave you some shit. Get out of here! Get out of here! Go on, get!" And then Tucker brings up his rifle and is like, I got a gun too, bro. And then scientist lady stabs him in the neck and goes, no, you don't, bro. And Tucker falls asleep. And Tucker's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You're going to die if you don't. Mm-hmm. So Henry and Experience run out of the farm, and there's nowhere to go but the offal pit, apparently. They go into the gate. They lock it behind them, and then Experience goes, what is this thing? Because apparently she can't fucking read.
Yep.
And they're surrounded by the sheep, and they're going, Angus, look at these fucking sheep. They are not healthy sheep. And Angus is like, you're the ones who are not healthy. Mm-hmm. And then they fall into the offal pit. Oh no, not offal pit. Close your orifices, everybody. Mm-hmm. And then it basically just turns into Until Dawn, because we've got two characters going through an underground area, trying to figure out what's going on. There's a joke about aromatherapy in there, because Experience brings out a candle, and at least it has a good payoff. So they start crawling through the area and trying to find a way out, because he's like, well, there's a cave system under the farms, so because apparently there is. So if we just crawl through, we'll be able to get out safely. So they find a crawl space, and Experience doesn't want to go through it, but it's the only way out, because, oh no, the sheep are jumping down after them, dear.
Oh no.
Oh,
into the offal pit?
Into the offal pit. So we cut back to Scientist Lady. He's doing some experiments on our good friend Tucker. They see that he's got a sheep foot, and she kind of implies that she kind of wanted this. She's like, this was kind of the result that she kind of wanted. But she's figuring it out, trying to figure out what's going on, and Tucker's there laying down, turning into a sheep, and then suddenly he's no longer a sheep.
Oh.
She injected him with some good sheep.
Ooh.
Good sheep stuff to make him go to sleep.
Fetus soup?
Fetus soup, yeah. She's trying to figure out what's going on with him, so he falls asleep again as he's becoming a sheep. Mm-hmm. As they're walking through the tunnels again, suddenly they hear a sheep bleat.
Oh.
And Henry jumps and the candle goes out. They relight it, and there wasn't a humorous sheep shadow. That would have been great, but there wasn't. Oh well. They're crawling through this crawl space, and there's the chakra joke comes back again, and it's not funny again. Because he gets her to relax this time, and she relaxes so much that she farts. Oh. Anyway, they get out of the crawl space, and a sheep is coming after them, and it's coming after them, gnawing and gnashing, and it wants to eat them. It wants to eat their meat. And so Henry looks at the sheep, and he throws the candle at it, and it sets it on fire immediately.
Yeah. So I believe actually the sheep is the one that farted that was behind them. Because it farts and then attacks him. But anyway, continue.
Yeah, I guess, whatever. And then we cut back to Granny. Granny, who's there. She's preparing some meal. And at this point, I was like, I want this movie. If this movie wants to be good, it better have a fucking Rambo Granny that saves the day. So those are the stakes set up for me. So then we cut back again to the shearing hut, to Henry and Experience, and they suddenly hear someone shearing. We go in, and it's Grant, the were-sheep, and he's shearing himself.
Oh.
Whoops. So there's a little fight scene ensuing between all of them, because they want to get out, and Grant wants to fucking eat a whole heap of meat now. Yeah. And, Experience chastises him for eating meat, because haha, vegans, got it. They basically go, oh, something must have bitten him for him to become like that.
Obviously.
Like, what, a fucking cow? Obviously a sheep bit him. So we cut back to Scientist Lady, and she's finished her little experiments. And she's looking at Tucker and having a little bit of humorous dialogue with him, and he's transforming more and more into a sheep until she injects him, and he's no longer a sheep anymore, dear.
Ooh.
She has come up with anti-sheepnum. She'll protect Angus, because she knows Angus is turning into a sheep too, because she saw his bite.
Yes.
So she's like, I better go give this to him. I better go give it to him while he's giving his speech, because he's getting his speech, he's prepared his speech, all the people are there, and he's sweating, and he's nervous, because, oh man, the sheep DNA is running through his veins.
Yep.
And he's talking, and stuttering, and
sweating.
Goes through it all. Scientist Lady gets out, and she starts heading towards him with his speech, and suddenly she realizes there are sheep everywhere who want to kill. She runs into the forest, trying to get away from the sheep, and then her foot gets stuck in the mud, and she trips, and she can't get her foot out. And then the sheep surround her, and Sephiroth the sheep comes out and bites her head, and she screams. And then we cut back to Angus again.
Okay.
Who pulls a box up, and there's the perfect, most fuckable sheep you could ever see. Like, I'm pretty sure most New Zealanders would want to fuck that sheep. And then the sheep bleats. It goes ba, ba,
yeah,
ba. And suddenly we hear a rumbly, rumbly. Something's rumbly, rumbly over the hill, dear.
Oh.
Something's rumbly, rumbly. Oh. And it's a sheep-a-ledge.
We need to get the fireworks, quick!
The herd of sheep are coming, and they're gonna eat everyone. They're going around eating everyone, spear tackling people to the ground, and eating their guts, and eating their feet, and eating their faces, and eating their jaws, and eating their necks.
The spear tackles were pretty good, though. You have to admit.
What?
The spear tackles were pretty good, you have to admit.
Oh, the spear tackles were hilarious. In the midst of this, we have the taxi driver is there, and he's going through his Bible, trying to find references to lambs to make the scene more funny. And we look over as all the sheep are killing everyone, Angus looks at his hand where he got bitten, and it's a sheep hoof now.
Oh!
Ooh. Ooh. And so our party of heroes has shown up just in the worst time, because now all the sheep are chasing them. But Grambo shows up in her car and drives them away to safety, back to the house. And then we get a really dumb scene.
Yep.
We cut to Angus taking the sheep away to safety, the precious fuckable sheep, back to his office. And he's like, I'll protect you, darling. I'll save you. And he leans in and realizes he wants a piece of that sheep.
Oh.
And then we cut back.
Oh.
And we see Grant is in the house with them. Oh no! He's attacking our heroes. Henry throws mint on him. Was it mint sauce? Just mint sauce. Mint sauce on the lamb. Because, get it? You have mint sauce on lamb. And it burns Grant. Oh no!
Like a vampire/werewolf.
Yes. And then Grant has Henry pinned up. And he's about to eat him. And then we cut to Granny loading a shotgun. And then we cut to Henry trying to reach for the Chekhov's gun award. And then we go to Experience. He's just standing there and she goes, no. She grabs a chopstick, slams it into his back, and he falls down unconscious. And then we learn that it's a really dumb acupuncture joke.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yep.
Really?
That's her entire character.
And so we open the study to find Angus with his pants down and his cigarette in hand.
Oh.
He has had fun with that sheep.
Oh no. Don't fuck sheep.
We get probably the funniest joke in the movie because of the acting. Where Henry explains, you've been bitten. You got bitten by the hippie. Oh, that means you're going to become one of them. And Angus goes, what, a hippie? He goes, no, a sheep.
Oh.
Purely because of Angus's acting in that. Yeah. It was great.
It was pretty good.
And then we learn, oh no. Henry has been bitten. He's going to become a sheep too.
Oh!
So this is when we get the ultimate plan. Angus is trying to get away in his plane, and they've got to stop him because otherwise he'll break quarantine and spread COVID to everyone.
Don't break COVID quarantine. Oh my god.
So Henry's like, I'll be the hero, I'll be the protagonist, I'll chase after him. You two women get out of the movie. Go to the town and get help. Get the army to nuke us. So he goes after them and he's like, I gotta be disguised. Get through the sheep. So he covers himself in a car seat to look like a sheep.
That he does.
And another sheep comes up behind him. Thinking he's a sheep. And starts fucking him. So he kicks the sheep in the nuts, alerting all the sheep to him and his presence. But it doesn't matter. They don't care about him because he's becoming one of them.
Yes. Ooh.
And then Experience realizes that she loves Henry, apparently. So she goes, I'm not leaving, so I want to save him, and I want to fuck him, and I want to own the farm.
Well, they did have a kiss before he left to be a sheep. So.
Listen, I'm just saying that I hate these types of romances.
Yes. They're stupid.
They're dumb.
Yes.
And Granny's like, have you ever used a gun before, dearie? And she goes, no, but it's okay. And Granny goes, I'll teach you how to use it. We'll go together. And it's like, okay, we got a partial Grambo. I'd rather a full-on Grambo, but partial is something at least. So they're driving around shooting sheep around like fucking... Like they're on a warthog, shooting them. Driving around shooting sheep. Sheep are going dead.
Running over him as well.
And she's laughing like a crazy woman. True. We cut back to Angus, who is at the airfield. He spins the blade of the plane to get it ready to take off. And then he realizes his human teeth are not needed anymore. So he pulls them out. Yay.
Just one, but yeah.
Yeah, and this is when he fully transforms into the were-sheep. And Henry shows up just in time to have an epic battle with him. And we realize, oh, they're going to do an Indiana Jones because the plane went off its blocks and it's driving forward.
But how do they stop him? Gamb.
How do they stop him?
Yeah, how do they stop him from just walking away from the plane?
Oh, the dog shows up again.
Yep.
And it kind of makes sense, but also at the same time, wouldn't it have stopped the sheep from killing the scientist earlier?
I mean, maybe if the dog cared, but I don't think the dog cared.
Oh well. So the dog herds Angus sheep to stay still as the plane gets closer, and honestly, it's a pretty good shot the way they did it, of the blades hitting Angus in the back, blood flying everywhere. And it's like, you know what, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Angus falls down, presumably dead, and we're all happy, and Grambo shows up, and oh no! Angus isn't dead! Oh no! Henry's gonna... Oh, it's alright, because we got Tucker to save the day.
Tucker!
Remember, he was in the lab, and he's no longer a sheep. So
That's right, he's no longer a sheep.
He shoves a thing in Angus's mouth and it injects him with some stuff and turns him human again. And so Henry goes up to him and goes, "Oh, thanks, mate," and he gets injected with the stuff, and it's pretty humorous scene of Henry writhing around. So everyone's happy,
and then he's good.
Yeah, and then he's good. And then, but we got to figure out what to do with all the other sheep and the people. Like, how are we going to save them all? And then, as they're figuring this out with all the sheep in the barn, Angus shows up again.
He's not dead?
And he's so close to dead.
Oh.
And he walks past them, going, "There's nothing we can do. I don't want this. Be with me, sheep. Have me." And the sheep go up to him and bite and stretch his dick. They stretch it and stretch it and stretch it.
Like one of those, like, slappy hands?
Yeah, really, yeah. And pull him to the ground, and they eat him.
Oh.
And everyone's looking on, and they just don't know what to do, as you can hear all the sheep farting.
Yep.
And then suddenly, they look down, they have a lighter, and Experience goes, "Methane." And he throws the lighter, and the sheep explode. Because, that's how that works. Yep. So everyone's safe again. And then we cut to, like, the post, the end, the wrap-up, where everyone's like, "Oh, haha, we could keep this sheep, I like his coat." And it's like, they're turning people back into humans, and ha ha ha, and Granny comes up and goes, "Here, do you want some food? I have some snacks," and Experience goes, "Yeah, I'll have some mountain oysters. I do eat seafood from time to time." And everyone's like, oh no. And as she's eating it, Henry leans in and goes, "You know you're eating sheep's testicles, right?"
Yep.
And she spits it out because it's humorous. Oh.
Side note, mountain oysters are actually delicious.
I don't like them.
It's a texture thing, mostly.
It is 100% a texture thing. And so everyone is safe again. And then we look out to the hills and we see the dog.
Oh.
And the dog looks out towards them all.
And his eyes are full of blood.
And his eyes were bleeding, and he comes out of the television and says, "Nostalgia Critic is best." And then the dog bleats.
Oh!
Like a sheep. Oh my god, the sheep virus is not dead. The dog, sheep, black sheep too, wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, no.
And then it cuts to credits like, ooh,
I mean, kind of.
Not really, but yeah. And then that's the end.
It was a movie. It was our first movie, and I thought it was a good start for our movies. So.
It was a movie.
It's one of my favorites because it's bad.
It's not bad. Here's the thing. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It has an identity crisis.
Yes.
It's not humorous enough to be a real black comedy because it has a little bit too much horror to really be a good black comedy. But it has too much humor to be a straight horror movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like if they toned down some of the gore a little bit, and upped some of the comedy in some areas, it would be a perfectly good black comedy.
Yeah.
But it's just lacking in some areas, and it's a little bit too predictable in a lot of areas. Like, I joked about the Chekhov's gun, but I don't think I even mentioned it, actually.
Yeah, you did. The Chekhov shears.
Yeah, Chekhov shears. I didn't mention that Henry stabs Angus with them, which is like, the minute I saw them appear on screen, I went, okay, he's going to stab his older brother with those to save the day. Yep. And that's exactly what fucking happened.
Yep.
Like, things that are a little bit too obvious. And here's the thing. What they could have done is, they could have upped those. Like, they could have, like, when introducing the Chekhov shears, Granny could have gone, ooh, watch out, you could cut yourself on those. Well, Angus nearly cut himself on them the other day. He'll be careful. If he's not careful, he'll cut himself on those real bad one day. Like, really lean into it and, like, exaggerate
just push
it. But they
basically.
didn't.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of I'd watch it again, though.
Yeah, okay. So, a little bit of trivia for you. Do you know the other very large budget movie that was filmed in New Zealand? Or just, you know, any movie that might have been filmed in New Zealand that maybe might have been a little bit popular?
Star Wars?
No, think a little bit shorter. But not by much, like 3 movies, maybe.
Star Trek?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh!
So
that was in New Zealand?
Yes,
I never knew.
So, the special effects that were done for Lord of the Rings were done by Studio, or Weta Workshops, if you know them.
Yeah, Weta Workshops.
All of the special effects in this movie were also done by Weta Workshops.
I do love Weta Workshop. They're great.
The director, Jonathan King, apparently recorded quite a bit of noise for the Grant sheep monster to use. So the director literally voiced his own sheep monster. So that was...
that's kind of great.
It also took about 4 people altogether to operate the Grant monster's sheep suit. So.
Really? 4 people?
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just
because I imagine, like, the head and the arms are, like, their own thing, and then also the legs being a piece of shit, and... yeah. Tammy Davis, aka Tucker, also worked on a farm for a while to actually research his role as Tucker.
I thought you were going to say he worked on a farm as a sheep to get his role.
At about, this one's kind of interesting, but at about like an hour and 3 minutes in, someone mentions MAF, which is the New Zealand Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry. Because they're like, who are we going to call? MAF?
I mean,
so,
yeah. Yeah.
And the last thing I have for you is... oh, actually, a little bit more, actually. The cave tunnel set was actually built entirely for the movie. They didn't just find some rocks.
Oh, so you're saying that wasn't a real tunnel underneath?
Well, no, but I'm saying they could have just gone and found some rocks and filmed there.
That wasn't? I thought that was a real tunnel under the farm, dear.
Around an hour 2 minutes, when the rich people are being attacked by sheep, the man who cannot find his keys and is like, I don't know where you fucking put them, and gets pulled down by a sheep and there's a Wilhelm scream, that is Jonathan King, the director of Black Sheep. So... I
swear I've seen Jonathan King before.
So Mike, the one that we found in the house that were like, what is he reading? It is The Penguin History of New Zealand. Just before his sheep kills him. That book is actually written by Dr. Michael King, father of the director Jonathan King.
Fucking nepotism. I just realized where I remember him from.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the Lindsay Ellis's videos on The Hobbit?
No, I haven't.
He's interviewed in those.
Okay. So, that's about all I have for that movie, at least. Do Do we want to use the same rating system or a different one?
No, we can use the same rating system.
Okay. So.
Because, I mean, it's essentially like 5 is okay, but I probably don't want to watch it again. Anything below 5 is like, I don't want to watch it again. 10 is like, yeah, let's rewatch it right now. And
yeah. I was saying like 7 to 9 was like within the next few weeks or so I'd be willing. And then from there it was like 4 to 7 was like within the next few months. And then I said below that would be I'd never want to watch this again, and or it'd take me a few years to get back to it.
I'd say, honestly, if it had Grambo and it went like it went like full camp and like hilarity, it would be an 8 for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know, it doesn't have that, plus like the environmentalist character,
and it doesn't pay off a few things. I can understand that.
I'm gonna say maybe a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
I liked it, but I don't know. It could have been way better.
Yeah. No, I can understand that entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have a set date at all for the next movie night. We're kind of playing it by ear due to our schedules being very, very hectic. But we will figure it out and probably mention the date for it on the other podcast. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Got anything else you want to add, Gamb, before we sign off?
I regret everything.
I bet you do. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.